Mayday to you, mateys. It's week 9 in the NFL, and what can I say? Last week I took it on the head. I got clobbered, guys. I was 38%. I had 6 wins up, 10 wins down. Week 9, we got to do better than that. We got to get rocking with this. And there's a lot of good games coming up in week 9. So my brownies, they got to buy, so I'll be able to kind of watch everybody and see what they're doing. So stick around and let's get right to week 9 picks with me, TD Mayday. Okay, guys, starting off week 9, we've got at 8:30, we've got Green Bay going to San Francisco, and they're laying 7 on the road. They just had their clocks cleaned at home by Minnesota. You know, I think it's time for a little redemption. The Niners, what team's going to play, what team's going to show up? 7 is a lot of points to lay on the road, especially a night game tonight. You know what, guys? I got to take San Francisco getting the 7. All right, that game can be seen at 8:30 on Fox, the NFL Network, and Amazon tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time. Sunday, November 8th. Let's look at this game. We got on Fox at 1 p.m., the New York Giants traveling down to Washington. Washington -3. They just played a couple weeks ago. Real tight game. Washington now has their quarterback for the future, or for the near future back, and they're -3. The Giants, boy, that team, you never know. That team's been playing some good ball. But you know what? I like Washington -3. I think this game will probably be a push, to believe it or not. 42 is your over and under. That probably will be close to a push also. These two teams, oh my golly. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to think that these teams have seen one another. They know how to go at those defenses now. And I'm actually going to take the over. Oh, and incidentally, you know, my picks have been crappy last week. Some weeks they're good, some weeks they're bad, just like most everybody. But I will tell you, the lock, the Steam Team Special that I give you has been right on, guys. So take my lock. You can take it, put it in the vault, and take it to the bank, baby. Okay, so let's move on. 1 o'clock, Fox. We've got Chicago going to Tennessee. Look at Tennessee. What happened to them? They went to Cincinnati and they, lost their second game in a row. Boy, that was a hangover, that game must have been. But Cincinnati playing a lot better. Chicago going to Tennessee. Not going to happen this week. Look for Tennessee to redeem. Lay the 6, lay whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Chicago's not going to be able to stand up to some punishment of Derrick Henry this week. 46.5, your over and under, not going to touch it. Moving on, we've got 1 o'clock on CBS. Detroit goes to Minnesota. Minnesota just clobbered Green Bay. Detroit got beat at home by the Colts. But Detroit, you never know what team's going to show up with them. I think Minnesota's back on track. Even though this is a division game, I think Minnesota lets it roll, baby. I'll lay the 4.5. I think they win by 7, maybe 10. 50's your over and under, or 50.5's your over and under. Not going to touch that one either. Moving on, 1 o'clock, Fox. Got Carolina goes to Kansas City. Gee, it seems like Kansas City's at home every week. My golly. They just clobbered the Jets. My guest star last week we had on the phone, Lou Holtz, picked the Jets to win the game. Well, I'm sorry, Lou. They didn't even come close to being in the game, let alone win the game. They got clobbered. I took the Jets. Fool me once, you won't fool me twice. Geez. Kansas City -10.5. I'm going to say that Carolina has a whole different team than the Jets. And 10.5 is going to be maybe a little too much for Carolina. So guess what? I'm taking Carolina plus the 10.5. 52.5 your over and under. I'm going to take in that game the over. I like the over in that game. I think both teams can put some points on the board. And both teams might end up in the 30s. Of course, I said that before and it doesn't happen, but that's just the way I'm thinking. All right, 1 o'clock, moving on, CBS. We got Houston going to Jacksonville. Oh my golly, this game is always wild. Always wild. Anyone can win this game. It's always up for grabs. And usually some of the biggest bloopers or biggest end of the games or whatever come from this game right here. So guess what? 7 is too many points. I know Jacksonville's horrible, but in this game, anybody can win it. 50 is your over and under. Believe it or not, I like the over. I don't think either team can stop the other one. Moving on, let's go. 1 p.m. CBS. We've got Baltimore. They're going into Indianapolis and they're laying 2 on the road. My golly. Boy, and this would be like a sucker bet just to suck you in. Wow, the Ravens are only -2 in a game. Guess what? They're not suckering me in. After getting beat against Pittsburgh, I'll lay the 2 on the road against the Colts. And 47's your over and under. Not going to touch it. Moving on. 1 o'clock Fox. We got Seattle at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, man. How is Seattle giving the Bills 2.5 at home? That's just a slap in the face. The Bills struggled a little bit against the Jets, I guess, at home, but that's a rivalry game. This is a non-conference game or an interconference game. Non-conference game. I like Buffalo at home, getting the 2.5. You can take that one to the bank. That's going to be my lock Steam game special, bar none. 55's your over and under. Not going to touch it. 1 o'clock, moving on. CBS, Denver at Atlanta. Atlanta's -4. I like Denver. How can Atlanta give anybody 4? 49.5's your over and under. I'm going to take in this game the over because I think both teams will score because neither team can stop the other one. And moving on, we've got 4:05 on Fox. The Las Vegas Raiders ran the ball down Cleveland's throat last week. Will they continue to do that against the Chargers? I don't think so. The Chargers are -1 at home, and I like them giving 1. I'm taking the Chargers -1. 52 is your over and under. Not going to touch it. Moving on, 4:25 on CBS. Got the Steelers going to the Cowboys. Cowboys really hapless. Really a bad football team. Steelers just eking out a win against Baltimore. Guess what? They're going to go down there and just clobber the Cowboys. I'll lay the 14 in this game because Dallas has 0. Zilch. Nothing. That team's looking to get into the Derby for the Clemson quarterback. 42's your over and under. I think Pittsburgh might get that on their own. Dallas will chip in a little bit. So we'll go with the over. That's a good pick, guys, in that game, in my opinion. 4:25 p.m. Miami can be seen on CBS. Miami goes to the Cardinals. Out in Arizona, Cardinals -4.5. Miami has been playing very well. I mean, great ball lately. Pretty strong. So have the Cardinals. Both teams are equal. Cardinals get that little bit of a 3-point advantage being at home. But I'll tell you what, the 0.5, which makes up the 4.5 over that 3-point advantage, I got to give it to the Dolphins. Let's stick with them. Let's go out there and cover that 4.5 point spread. 48 you're over and under. Not going to touch it. 8:20 p.m. NBC. That's going to be your Sunday night game. New Orleans at Tampa. Division game. Tampa -4. New Orleans needs to win like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to tell you, this game is going to be blood and guts. And this game is going to come down to basically a last play of the game, maybe either a field goal or a Hail Mary. My golly, it might even go overtime. I got to take the Saints because I believe the Saints could win that game. They're getting 4. 51.5's your over and under. Don't want to touch that. Let's move on to Monday night. We've got 8:15 on ESPN. You can see that one. New England going to the Jets. New England -7.5. The Jets, they can barely score 7.5. Man, I lied. But how did they play so well against Buffalo at Buffalo? I don't know. But let's look. It was a division game. This is a division game. The Jets, the Patriots got their got their butts shellacked. Guess what? I'm still going to lay the 7.5. The Jets are horrible. And I can't pick them no matter what. I just can't. Sorry, my buddy Ralph's a huge Jets fan. But that team, until they show me something, I cannot pick them. I don't care what the point spread is. I took them last week, and they didn't show me. And I got whooped by them. Lou Holtz talked me into taking them, guys. Hey, you just keep me out of this. Anyway, 42.5 is your over and under. I'm going to touch that one. I'm going to say this game's going under the 42.5. And those are your week 9 picks from TD Mayday. And I love you guys out there. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do these picks every week. And like I said, my Steam team has been doing great. So, subscribe and join us. I'd love to have you guys. And to all my subscribers, I love you guys. Keep the comments coming. I love to answer every comment as much as you love to leave them, whether they're good or bad. So anyway, guys, have a great week this week, and may your team win. My team's going to sit around and watch and get a rest. So anyway, until then, Mayday is out of here.